In today's video, we're going to talk about what I think are 8 huge green flags in a guy, and if he has all these things, then he may very well be a keeper. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. So instead of talking about a bunch of things that we don't want in a partner, like all the red flags, let's talk about some of the green flags, what we do want in a partner. Because also, if you want to attract a high quality type of man, it's important to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. What we focus on grows, right? So I'm going to talk about 8 big green flags in men. There can obviously be way more than this. I'm just going to talk about some 8 green flags that I think are really important. I'm obviously not going to mention the basics, like he is kind and he's kind to his mother, or that he takes care of himself and goes to the gym, or he doesn't spend too much time on social media. We're going to dig into the deeper ones. And if there's anything that you think are major green flags that I didn't mention, absolutely comment them below. The first green flag is a big one, and this isn't necessarily about something that he is specifically doing, but is more so about how he makes you feel. And that big green flag is that you feel like you can turn your brain off when you're with him. This is huge. Why is this such a good sign? Because this means that your nervous system feels safe around him, that you feel like you can trust him, that he's responsible, that he's reliable. When your body feels like you can fully relax when you're with him, that is your intuition speaking to you. The deeper parts of you trust him. You know, if you feel like you guys can go out together and you accidentally forget your purse and it's no big deal. If you don't have to be constantly thinking about everything and on edge about things, when you can just actually just relax and be. When you can just notice the pretty flowers or the cool art on the wall, and you don't have to think about, wait, where did I park the car? Or you don't have to be peering over your shoulder to make sure that nobody is following you. Or you don't have to worry about if you guys are gonna get the bread at the restaurant or not. Seriously, one of the most attractive things that a guy can do is give you the gift of being able to turn your brain off. And this will also, of course, help you lean more into your feminine energy and be more in receiving mode, creative mode, soft mode, loving mode, relaxing mode. You know, a lot of men say that they want a soft, loving woman. Well, this softness tends to come naturally when we're in the presence of a man who we feel can handle things, someone who we really trust. And so if you feel like you can turn your brain off with a guy, that is just a very, very good sign. It's just all about him allowing you to let your guard down. And I feel like out of all the green flags, I think this is one of the most important ones, especially if you are a woman who wants to lean more into her feminine energy in life and in her relationships, which are most of the women who watch my channel, then this is so important. Now, you might not be able to notice this right away in a person because I feel like this takes some time. Like, no one's gonna fully trust someone after one date, right? But after you've spent some real time with this man, gone on several dates with him, I feel like that's when you should be able to notice if you feel this or not. And if you do, I think that is a really, really good sign. So if you feel like you can turn your brain off when you're with him, green flag. The second green flag is that he has a vision, meaning he has goals. He has a plan. He has ways in which he's working to better himself. He has a vision for a path forward in life. If a man has a vision, that means he is more likely to live with purpose and intention. That means he's more of a forward thinker and can plan for the future, which is important to have in a life partner. And a man with a vision is also more willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term gain and reward. He is more likely to be a man that you can trust. If he doesn't have a vision, that means he's usually going to lack focus and just have more directions. He's going to feel a little, wishy-washy and all over the place. He's more likely to be less of a go-getter and less of a leader. Now, obviously, if you are really young, like 19 or something, and you're dating other 19-year-olds, then the 19-year-old guys might have a little bit of a fuzzier vision than the 35-year-olds. You know, that's normal. That's a part of growing up. But regardless, no matter how old you are, there should be some sort of vision there. What is he striving for in his life? What is he building towards? What is he trying to create? A man with no plan, no vision will likely not end up creating the life that you want to live in. So if he has a vision for himself, green flag. Now, next green flag, number 3, there are going to be times in a relationship where there is just a little bit of tension, or maybe you guys are frustrated with each other, or you guys are in an argument. This just will happen at some point in a committed relationship. But a huge green flag is that he still communicates kindly even in these tougher moments, even under distress. It's easy to be kind and loving when things are going great, but it's not as easy to be kind and loving when you guys are mad at each other, or you accidentally did something wrong and he's upset at you for it, or in those tougher moments when you guys are arguing about something. When he is able to keep his cool and still be loving and gentle with you in those moments, that is a really big green flag in my opinion. Even if that means that he's just self-aware enough to be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a 10-minute walk outside and then let's come back to this. That takes maturity. Like when you guys argue or disagree, is he just trying to win? Is he just trying to one-up you? Or is he trying to reach an understanding? There's a big difference. This is a really positive trait, and this is something that's very important in not only a husband, but also if you want kids, also a father. There will be those tougher moments. There will be those stressful moments. There will be times where you, or heaven forbid, your daughter or your son will do something absolutely stupid. But being able to handle your emotions or anger in those moments and still stay kind and thoughtful, you can be firm, but you can still be loving and gentle at the same time. This shows that he's mature. This shows that he can handle himself. This shows that he can handle stress. And most importantly, this shows that your emotional safety won't be threatened when you guys hit those tougher moments. So if he communicates kindly under distress, green flag. Now the fourth big green flag in a guy is if he has sexual discipline. A man who is completely controlled by his desires and impulses is not a strong man. He is not a reliable man. He's not a trustworthy man. He's a weak man. Not only does this show a lot about his character and his priorities, but also you are probably going to question more of his loyalty to you, or will he be ogling over other girls? A man who doesn't have sexual discipline has no self-control. And that can quickly become dangerous. That does not make a good husband nor a good father. So this would be a man who is ideally not watching that stuff on the internet. A man who is not begging for attention from any woman, who has the discipline to wait for the woman who is right for him. And especially in the beginning of a relationship, what is he going for first? Is his first intention courting you and pursuing you? Or is it getting intimate with you? If he's trying to go straight for the intimacy, that is usually not a good sign. If he's not respectful of your boundaries there when you guys start dating, also not a good sign. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that you need to wait a certain amount of time to do whatever you want with him. I'm just saying that he needs to be respectful of where you are and where you want to be. The thing about this is that if a man has sexual discipline, he likely has good self-discipline in other areas of his life as well. He's just likely a strong and disciplined person, and that's an important trait to have for a life partner. If a man has no self-control and discipline in this area, then it's likely that you will not feel as safe and cherished when you're with him, and that is incredibly important for the feminine. It's hard for the feminine to fully relax and lean back into her feminine energy if she does not feel safe and cherished. And then when you guys do have intimate relations later on, a man who has no sexual discipline is also more likely to focus solely on his needs rather than on yours as well. But when you meet him, if he is focused 100% on you and building that connection, that emotional connection, that shows an initial commitment to you and that he sees a potential real thing with you and not just like a one-night thing. So I think this is important. If he has sexual discipline, green flag. Now, green flag number 5, again, this is another thing that he is not specifically doing, but more of a reflection of you and how you feel when you're with him. So the question is, what kind of person do you become when you're with him? If he brings out the best in you, then that is a green flag. Does he elevate your anxiety or does he diminish it? Does he make you feel crazy or does he make you feel calm and safe? Does he bring out your soft and loving side or does he bring out your crazy side? Does he bring out your aggressive side? Some people who are not high quality or are just simply not a match for us, sometimes they can bring out the parts in ourselves that we don't particularly like. They can make us feel like we are not our best self. But on the other hand, those who are high quality, those who are meant for us, can complement us in a way where we become our best self or a better self when we are with them. What kind of woman do you become when you date him or when you're around him? Do you like the person you become when you're with him? This is important. This will tell you a lot. Does your life improve when you're with him? Not necessarily because he's doing something specific, but because when you're with him, you become your best self and therefore your life just naturally improves. So if you feel like he brings out the best qualities in you, or he awakens positive qualities that you weren't even entirely sure that you had, or he lessens the negative ones that you struggle with, then I would definitely take that as a good sign and a green flag. From my experience, being with my husband made me much more confident of a woman. It made me a better communicator because I was really bad at that before. It made me more loving and patient, like in a good way, like I just naturally became that. And he taught me how to invest in myself and trust myself. He helped to bring out positive qualities in me, and I know that he will say the same, that I helped to bring out positive qualities in him. I don't think it's anything that he specifically did or I specifically do. It's just the way that our lives and our personality mesh together. So if he brings out the best in you, this is another really, really big one. This is a green flag. Number 6, another green flag is if he just does things to improve the quality of your life, especially without even asking. This is a man who cares for you. This is a man who is committed to you. This is a man who is willing to invest in you and spend time and energy into you. If he picks up a little treat from the grocery store because he knows that you love it, or he's driving by your favorite deli and so he calls you and asks if you want a sandwich, or if he goes over to your apartment and something is clearly broken so he just takes it upon himself to fix it. If he just wants to make your life better, this is a good sign. And this is a good sign in a partner, especially if you want to be a partner who is taken care of and cherished and treated well. And who doesn't want that? A man who prides himself in making your life better will constantly try to be making your life better. This also means that he's just a kind and generous person too. So if he does things to improve the quality of your life, especially without asking, green flag. Now another green flag, and this is more for like the early dating phase, but a green flag is that he has clear intentions with you. If you're not really sure what he's looking for, if you're not really sure that he likes you, then he's probably not your person. If his intentions are unclear or fuzzy, don't put your energy into him. Don't go out with him. You want a man who knows what he wants, and you want a man who knows that he wants you. Oh, okay, hi. That is half the battle in finding a good life partner, and if he doesn't have those two things, then don't put your energy into him. A man who truly cares for you and is interested in you, he will make it clear. You know that saying, if he wanted to, he would. It is so true. If he doesn't want to on his own, he doesn't naturally want to pursue you, if his intentions are like, meh, like you don't really know what he wants, he's not your soulmate. Don't get your heart and your emotions all tangled into that. It is not worth it. So if he has clear intentions with you, green flag. Now, last green flag, number 8, is that he is not afraid to talk about a future with you. Now, of course, this is gonna look different depending on where you're at in the relationship. If it's a first date, he's probably not going to be talking about marriage with you, but he might talk about that cute little mini golf place that he wants to take you to next, or that fun new restaurant that just opened that he wants to take you to next. He's still talking about the future, but in a way that's more appropriate to where you're at in the relationship. Or if you have been with him for like over 6 months, deeply committed to each other, is he open and comfortable talking about a future with you? Does he feel excited by the prospect of a future with you? Or does he always try to change the subject? In my opinion, I do think that men know what they want pretty early on. When it comes to marriage though, just keep in mind that sometimes there are other components that stop them from wanting that. It could be sometimes they want to reach a certain level in their career before they do it, or have a certain amount of income before they do it. And that's why I think it's important to have those open and honest conversations with him so you actually really know where he's at. But if he just hesitates to talk about the future with you, then he is likely not very committed to you. And there's no reason to spend time with a man who's not actually committed to you. If he talks happily about future-oriented things with you, that is a good sign. Even if that's just him being super excited to bring you to his cousin's wedding this summer so you can meet his whole extended family, that is a good sign of a man who has clear intentions, a man who values you, who sees a potential future with you, and is likely in it for the right reasons. I remember like 6 months into my relationship with my husband, I accidentally said something that I thought was embarrassing. I said something like, oh, well, when we're married, ... I said something like that. And then I immediately was like, oh, oops, I didn't mean to say that. And I was kind of embarrassed. And he was just like, I like that you said that. And I was like, Anyway, if he's not afraid to talk about the future with you, green flag. But use discernment here. Just because he's not jumping into marriage with you after 2 months, it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about you, or that he's not committed, or that he's not the right guy. You get what I mean by this. Now, one of the best ways to attract a high quality masculine man is to be in your feminine energy. And that's why I recommend you go watch this video, 10 tiny micro habits to increase your feminine energy. This is one of my most popular videos, so if you haven't watched it, I think you should go check it out. Now let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with my green flags? Do you disagree? Are there any big green flags that you think that I missed? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you staying until the very end, and I'll see you next time.